What's going on, guys? It is Murdoch, the Not So Pro Gamer, and today I wanted to bring you a video about what I think is the most overlooked perk in the game. I think this perk is the most underused and the most underrated perk in the game. And that perk is Recon, or more importantly, RECON Pro. Now, just to give you a little back brief in case for some reason you have no clue what Recon is. Recon is a tier 1 perk that allows you to paint an enemy on your minimap and your teammate's minimap with explosive damage. And then obviously Recon Pro, bullet damage as well as explosive damage, paints an enemy on your map and your teammate's map. Now, this one, like I said, is a tier 1 perk, so it is up against some of the better perks in the game, such, sleight of hand, blind eye, extreme conditioning, and scavenger. So you can see with those 4 other perks that Recon is in the same category with. It doesn't get a lot of use. It doesn't get a lot of play, I guess you could say, and I think that sucks because, in my opinion, Recon is one of the better perks in the game. And just to give you a little bit better back brief on Recon as well, in case you've never used it, whenever you do hit an enemy with an explosive, such as concussion grenade or flash grenade or frag grenade or anything like that, it paints them on the minimap. And what I mean by paints is that it basically makes them look like you have an advanced UAV on them. They go from a dot on the minimap to an arrow, which shows you obviously the way that they're facing and everything like that. So, I mean, that is extremely valuable, especially if you're about to run into a location and you're not exactly sure how many enemies are in that location. If you throw a concussion grenade into that spot, then all of a sudden 3 arrows pop up on your minimap. Oh my gosh, I'm completely overpowered here. These guys are going to run right through me, so I need to take a more tactical approach to getting in there and flushing these guys out. So it's an excellent perk whenever it's used correctly. And the arrow that whenever it paints them on the minimap, the arrow that represents them lasts for about 10 seconds. Okay, so it doesn't last as long as an advanced UAV, but it does last for about 10 seconds. And as we all know, in Modern Warfare 3, 10 seconds is a lifetime. So even if you don't get the kill with them being painted as an arrow on the minimap, somebody on your team will kill that enemy player, and you will get the assist for it. Okay. The best Recon setup that I've found, and I don't believe I'm using it in my gameplay that I'm showing you right now, but what I've found to be the best Recon setup is for your weapon type, your primary weapon, any assault rifle. I prefer the ACR just because of the strength and power of the ACR. G36 also a very solid assault rifle, but I do prefer the ACR, and you can use any proficiency on that, whatever floats your boat, whatever you prefer. And then extended mags, since you're not going to have scavenger, you don't want to run out of bullets too fast, obviously, so extended mags is a great addition to the ACR. Or if you're more of an SMG player, the MP7, obviously with range, because it acts almost as an ACR. If you use the MP7, it already has a decent range anyways. And then you add the range proficiency, it just makes it that much better. And then also for the MP7, I would use extended mags for the same reason, since I'm not running scavenger. For my grenade types, I would use the frag grenade because it does have a little bit bigger blast radius than the Semtex grenade. Plus, it's allowed to roll, and everybody's been killed by a rolling frag before, or at least been painted by one. So frag grenade and then concussion grenades. And the reason why I say concussion grenades over flash grenades, obviously the flash grenade is better than the concussion grenade in my opinion, because the flash completely whites out your screen and it seems to last forever. At least every time I get flashed, it lasts for 5 minutes, it seems like. But the reason why I'm saying the concussion grenade is because of the amount of time that grenade is allowed to be in the air before it explodes. Okay, the flash grenade, you have about 1 to 2 seconds of flight time before that grenade explodes on its own. But with the concussion grenade, that grenade will stay in flight until it either A, hits the ground, B, hits a wall, C, hits a person, whatever. It will not, it doesn't have a time limit on the explosion. So if you're trying to lob it halfway across the map or whatever, halfway across Carbon or Hard Hat or Dome or whatever, it'll actually get to where you're trying to throw it to unless it hits something on the way there. So that's why I prefer the concussion grenade, because once it explodes and you get a hit marker on that enemy person, then they're painted. They're painted for 10 seconds. Okay, and then for your perk setup, Recon, obviously, and hopefully you have Recon Pro, but Recon, obviously, Hardline, and Marksman. Marksman, another underused perk that I've noticed in gameplay. You don't see a lot of people using Marksman either. But Recon, Hardline, and Marksman, and the reason why I say Hardline is because, like I said, once the enemy gets painted on the minimap and your teammates see that, that guy's as good as gone. So even if you don't get the kill, you will get an assist for that, okay? And then with Hardline Pro, obviously, 2 assists equal 1 kill for your point streak. So that's even better. And then for Marksman, the reason why I'm choosing Marksman is because it allows you to pick out enemies at longer range. Whenever you aim down sights, the enemy shows up, their name tag and everything above their head shows up at a longer range than it would if you didn't have Marksman on. Okay, now if you use that in conjunction with Recon Pro, where the bullet damage paints them on the mini map, then all you need to do is pick them out, put 1 bullet in them. Even if you're not going to kill them, 1 bullet's going to paint them on the mini map, and somebody will get that guy. So that's why I say Marksman over any of the other ones. And now, I mean, if you're using the MP7, the Marksman's more for the assault rifles. If you're using the MP7 or a submachine gun, even with range, obviously, steady aim. Because if you're using an SMG, you're more than likely a rusher. So steady aim would probably suit you better. For your point streaks, I would say go with the support class with this setup. And the reason why I say that is because since you're not running Assassin, you're not running Blind Eye, those kind of things, then, more than likely enemy UAV is going to be up in the air, something like that. You might get tracked down unless you're extremely, extremely good. You probably get tracked down. So I would say go with the support class. And another reason why I say the support class is because, remember, we're using Hardline. You're going to get a lot of assists whenever you use Recon Pro. Every 2 assists acts as 1 point towards your point streak. So, I mean, it only makes sense. But I would use the UAV, counter UAV, and the Recon drone. And obviously UAV so you can pinpoint them a little bit better. Counter UAV to keep you and your buddies off their minimap, and then the Recon drone because you get assists every time you use the Recon drone as well. So it just keeps adding up. But that's what I would suggest as the best class setup if you're going to be using Recon. Now, I'm going to let you know the best way to get Recon to Pro if you haven't already gotten it to Pro. And the way that I was able to do it, and I did it in 6 to 10 games. What I did was I entered a match of ground war. It didn't matter, kill confirmed, team deathmatch, domination. And every time that I respawned, after I was killed or whatever, every time I respawned, I would look for where the most concentrated area of enemy was, and I would lob all 3 of my grenades at that time. I would lob my 2 concussion grenades and my frag grenade into that area, because by doing that, lobbing it onto a domination site or where that certain enemies are, then that's obviously going to paint them on your minimap, and I believe it's either 80 or 120 enemies painted in order for you to receive Pro. So, like I said, you go into a game of ground war. Those games are usually a little bit longer. Every time you respawn, you go to where the enemy location is, and you start lobbing all your grenades. I guarantee you're going to get 10 paints per game. 10 paints per game, and then, like I said, either 80 or 120 paints, so that's 8 to 12 games. And you probably even get it a little bit faster than that. I think Every time that I've gone for RECON Pro, it's probably taken me anywhere from 6 to 10 games, and that's it. And RECON Pro, once you get it Pro and you actually start using it and you notice that all you do is you put one bullet into somebody and then you drop prone behind something, you can see them on your minimap. You know exactly which way they're facing and which way they're going to come. So you're more prepared for that enemy player. And that should about do it. I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it informative. If you did, please remember to click that like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel for more great content coming soon. Thanks, guys.